Okay, guys, I was going to talk a little bit about the nutrition levels of what we do and what we're doing at Oak Creek's a little bit different than most. We're feeding a TMR mix, as y'all have seen. I think they just did an episode on the hay and how we put our silage and everything up, our clover silage. So far, the clover silage has worked the best out of everything. Don't you agree?
Yeah, most definitely.
Usually in a breeding situation, you have to go to Colorado or out west, not necessarily Colorado, but somewhere out west, New Mexico, to get really, really good quality alfalfa. We have brought it back down into this TMR and this silage. We're actually getting better results out of clover that we're growing off of our farm. It's not costing us nearly as much. The values are so much better for what we're doing. And I was going to break that down. When I first started back I don't know how long ago, it seems like forever ago, but all you had to do is go back off of who was growing the biggest deer, so I went to a lot of farms, a lot of guys that were the best of the best in the industry, and got their feed analysis and their feed, and they told us what was in it and everything, and then I got it analyzed and started breaking it down. So I've got, this is just this year's stack of nutrition samples and what we're doing. I think the last maybe since 2018, I've got a stack in my office that's just filled full of different things that we've tried over the years. And me and Nick just got thinking, the deer's not a cow. There's no books that are written for the whitetail deer. It's all cattle, sheep, goats, other livestock. So we started doing tests, really just looking at different people's deer on their farm, looking at different animals. We've got a situation where we can see actually even dead deer coming in. We can look at how much fat's on their back and their marbling of their meat, and we can really analyze how good they're doing. And we took some nutritional analysis, is that the word? Analysis off of different farms and started really looking to see what was producing the healthiest deer. And that's all we care about. I told Nick when he first started, and I think he'll agree with me. If you have a healthy deer, they're going to grow healthy horns. I mean, they're going to grow big horns. If your deer's not healthy, they're not going to grow big horns. A lot of people think we're putting all these additives and stuff in their feed and steroids. There might be somebody out there doing that, but me, it's a healthy deer. My deer are going to live with a long life. They're going to be healthy. And we found out these deer are not made to eat grain. And that's all this deer industry's been about.
Not the amount that most people are feeding.
Right. The levels are too high, all growing up Texas, and high proteins. We were pushing that protein, we're 20-30% protein. Well, shoot, you put yourself on a high protein diet, you're going to lose weight. The deer were doing the same thing. So we've got our values down now to where what we've looked in the past, the values of some of these successful farms and what we've done in the past and watched our deer, and we think we're getting close. I'm not saying we've got the perfect remedy, because just a month, 2 months ago, we switched it up and we added a little bit of rice bran to our feed and put a little bit more fat on their body. So going to this TMR, I think our deer are healthy. I mean, they look happy, they're running around, they're eating all the time, they're bucking, they're playing. To me, they look like they've got their eyes just look brighter. They look like they're happy.
They feel good.
Yeah, they feel good,
That's all it is.
We're not saying it's the end all to end all, it's got to be this way, but man, we've taken a lot of deer, seen a lot of deer off other farms that just, the acidosis is so bad, they've destroyed their stomachs. They might live to a 3-4 year old range, and some of the additives they're putting in these feeds. And and if that's what you're trying to do, is real big horns and a life expectancy of 3, 4, 5 years old, hey, if you're selling semen, that's a good thing. But
be surprised on how many you're losing too, due just for the fact that it's like the will to live on these animals. If they got a will to live, they can eat that high textured grain and do just fine and be that breeder buck. But with the way, if you want 90-95% of your animals to make it, you really got to be thinking about the overall health of every animal. And because not every animal's got the will to live, just like with people, not every person's got the will to live, and it makes a difference with these animals. If they got a will to live, I mean, they can withstand a lot. But we don't want to put them through torture in their rimming, which is the first step process in these animals of keeping them healthy. We want to make sure and keep them, keep that right. And the way I've told, and I've talked to several people, Donald's talked to several people over the years, the past couple of years now, since we've been doing this, and what I've always said is, God made these animals to eat grass and to eat forages and stuff like that, and to do very well off of that. Why are we messing with it? Let's figure it. Let's go back to the way God designed them and put it as a base product, as a hay. They do very well off of clover. They do very well off of alfalfa, soybeans. A lot of are forages that they can pick and use efficiently. And with just a little bit of grain and the breeding situation, these animals flourish and they do very well. That's kind of what we've seen. I mean, in my opinion, and that's what it's going back to the way God designed them. Let's feed them the way God designed them to eat. So, but
our feed's real simple now. If you looked at it, especially if you're a deer breeder and stuff and looked at it, you'd probably laugh at us and say, there's no way I'm feeding my deer that. And I'm not recommending you doing that, because it might be to change over to our feed, it might be too much for your deer to handle, especially if the rumen's already messed up or what have you. But I do know the deer that have been born on this feed all their life have done really well. And Nick doesn't have the health issues that I used to have. It's gotten easier for him. A lot of it's because of his expertise and what he's done, and he cares, and he's out there with them. But the overall health of our deer has improved unbelievably. I was probably working myself to death with 50 animals, to where now we're working ourselves with 800 animals, not as hard as 50 animals. That's what I meant to try to say there. But
most definitely,
yeah, it's getting easier, and it's just their health. You start out healthy, and they'll stay healthy, and they're going to survive. But I was going to go through it just in case if you want to see some of the numbers. I think our protein level right now is running 18%, which is high. We're on this, and I think we back it down from.
We're trying to back it down to get it a little lower. We don't know with the alfalfa being like it is, and to make sure we keep our lysine levels up, and we can't remove a whole lot more soybeans. Basically, we might be able to get it down to about a 17 with the alfalfa. But that's the great thing about this clover. That's why we're trying to get as much of it as we can. Is we were running a 14% protein, and these animals were flourishing off of a 14% protein.
I think that's where you need to be.
Yeah.
So, and that's kind of where I was going with that. This analysis is of the alfalfa that we're doing right now. We'll have to get this analysis, run an analysis on it here after it ferments and everything. But our ADF is running right at 17.8. Our NDF is running 24.6. Our TDN is running 75. I've seen some of our old feeds. It was running up 86, 90%. And I think they love this feed a lot better. Our energy, we're running 70.78. So we're running that energy high. And how we're able to do that is we've met a guy that was really good with probiotics, and he understood the probiotics, and we've got a really good probiotic in our feed that allows them to digest those high energies, high starches, and they've done really, really well. But it took a long time. I mean, we worked with him and worked with him and worked with him and tweaked and tweaked and tweaked, and we still tweak. Same with our vitamin mineral. We started out, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago. It was Hunter Specialty. It came to me and said, I've got a vitamin mineral that's going to eliminate your tick problem. I said, BS. There's no way you can put that in a feed. But I said, I'm looking for a good vitamin mineral. I looked at it. It was I tried it. And I said, I'll try it and I'll see if it works. And it did. It didn't work overnight, but over years,
couple of years,
we have eliminated our tick problem, and we quit feeding it this year. Found out that our formula wasn't right, and our tick problem came back up. So I got a hold of that chemist. He's no longer with the company. I don't think they're making that feed anymore at Hunter Specialty, from what I understand. And we got back on it, and now I'm not having a tick problem again. We're working with him to eliminate our fly problem. He says he can eliminate our fly problem. So we're going to start adding that into our vitamin mineral here pretty soon. I wish I could tell you could go buy it. You can't. It's not on the market. You can't buy it on the market or anything. I'm trying my best to get him to put it on the market, but maybe that's here to come. So, but other than that, we don't do anything to our feed. You know, we're feeding the silage or the alfalfa or fiber, and it's gosh, help me out, Nick. I've got it here. You probably know it off the top of your head. Just how much in a batch of feed, what is our weight? 820 pounds of alfalfa right now, is that right?
1,350 pounds of alfalfa goes into a batch of, it makes about 3,000 pounds.
So yeah, 1,350. We're putting some 450 pounds of rice bran. We're putting 900 pounds of roasted corn, 240 pounds of soybeans. We treat our Milo, 20 pounds of our Milo with our probiotic, and then 40 pounds of untreated Milo. It's pop Milo. It's a really high starch. It's really good for them. Putting 4 gallons of soy oil. We don't try to hide anything. That's it. That's all we put in it. We put the Bovatech in it. I'm sorry, forgot about the Bovatech. Guys, if you're having a coccidia problem on your farm,
look into the ionophores. Bovatech is a good one.
I don't know how many years ago, 6 years ago?
It's been longer than that.
Has it been longer than that?
Probably been about 8.
8 years ago, we started putting I think it's 4.3 ounces, grams of Bovatech in a ton of feed.
30 grams or something like that.
Yeah, so it's not much. It's not, and I haven't had any coccidia. Have we had any coccidia problem in that?
No, we've not. Everything we've tested, none of it's come back with coccidia issues at all.
The probiotic we're feeding, we've upped it up. We were having a coli problem. There is a bacteria in the probiotic. What's the word I'm looking for, Nick?
It attaches to the E. coli and basically sends it out the back end.
Yeah, and it helps with our E. coli problems. So we also put it in a paste and give it to them when they're born. So guys, it's just hell. If you get a good healthy animal, what I'm trying to say is you won't have these issues that you're having. If you're having some issues, if you're having a lot of death loss on newborn fawns, you know, stillborns, stuff like that, look at your nutrition. Go get it analyzed. It's really simple to do. Rock River Laboratory does it. University of Arkansas does it. You can send it off to just about it. There's several places you can send a nutritional value out. Send your stool samples in. If you know, instead of just wondering if your deer got worms and putting something in the feed and hoping that's you taking care of it, walk out there with the rubber glove, let one stand up, it'll poop, grab it with the rubber glove, pull the rubber glove out backwards, you got a stool sample. Run it to the vet. He can tell you real quick if you got a coccidia or any kind of a worm, parasite, any kind of problem. So it's not hard, and it's real easy to make sure you've got a good healthy deer. And if you want a good healthy deer, you're going to have the big horns. So just something we thought we'd share with you. If you have any questions about any of this, give me or Nick either one a call. We'd love to help. Like I said, we're an open book. We don't have any secret recipes. We don't have anything. We just want to help people grow healthy deer. So hope you enjoyed this segment. If you have any questions about anything else you'd like to know on the farm, whether you're a breeder or a hunter or anything, give us a call or send us a text. Just hit us on Facebook, ask us questions. We'll try to cover that for you. Till next week, we'll talk to you later. Guys, like I was just talking about, most deer breeders, if they saw this, there's no way they'd feed it to their animal, because all it looks like is hay. You know, there's some grain, there's some soybean, your pop Milo. You know, it's just a little bitty pop Milo. That's what all our probiotic is attached to, and it's just like popcorn. We pop it, but doesn't look like much, but they love it.